let's talk about CodeBehind. CodeBehind is great. So you can view source here, or you can just go down here and hit the HTML. We know that we're not looking at the HCHTML version of this. We're looking at the regular version, not the CodeBehind version. That's what I mean. And what we're doing here is, instead of calling this page load here, what we can do is just copy and paste it, get rid of the script tags, get rid of everything after that, get rid of this. We're going to change it, and we're going to change it to our CodeBehind version, which is the same thing, except we have this CodeBehind here, which is going to call that page, normally the same page, even up to the .aspx, but with the .cs extension afterwards. And then we're going to make C# language, and there's a few other things that we're wiring up for the events, and we're actually inheriting from something. And you can do this, you can inherit from your, as you can see here, right from web application 2. And if we look within the CodeBehind CS, we're going to see that's our namespace. But we're inheriting from the class here, which is a page. As you can see, system.web.ui.page. We'll go over this, we'll explain it. We're just going to do some things here. And if you just cut that out of there, and you look at the behind here, the CS file, you're going to see that it looks just like a regular class. Then we're just going to be able to paste that information right in here and use it as is. Notice that we have an access modifier here as private. You can put your access modifiers. Note that protected, like we described, protected. This is going to deal with our class here. And you can see that we have the table1 is a variable here. It looks similar to when we do our forms, Win forms. For each of those things that we have in our main page there, the .aspx file, we're creating our protected or private variables for that. And this gives us the ability to share them or not share them. Notice that we have the design view down here, that we're doing some things here. The familiar initialize components. And we just have a base on initialize here event, which is getting called when we initialize our page. And you can see we're overriding with the syntax here, overriding on init. But this is all handled by Visual Studio, so we don't even have to worry about it. And then our initialize component, again, this is just creating a event handler here, an event handler for the this.load, which is our page. And we're putting in page load, which is our method that we have at the top. So if you're familiar with the Windows forms, you're going to do very well with this. And we're building on that language and building on the whole terminology of what we talked about already. So you want to check out those videos for more details on working with this type of functionality. The class itself is inheriting from system.web.ui.page. That's the long and short of working with your behind the code at the moment. Well, it's really the short, but we're going to get into the long as well. And long is kind of what this is doing here. You don't have to use everything here. You only have to use the ones that you need to reference. The UIs, you need the web session state if you're going to monitor the session state, and drawing in data, most likely if you're dealing with data. And collections allows you to work with different things you can work with within collections, as we've talked about. So not everything is going to be used, but the important thing is that you're dealing with the namespace. And you can just collapse things and take a peek at it. Namespace, and specifically the class, very important. So then you can see what it means to do that when it has dot and the WC table. That's like a web class for table. And that's the name. What we can do is we can actually take a peek at this. View design, I always do the right click because you can do this down here, but it's harder for people to see that. So we can actually get this to run. We're going to just view in a browser. And hey, look at that, it works. No problems. Let's get cute though. We're going to make some changes. Everything's running nice. There we go, there we go, there we go. And, well, guess what? Let's do something tricky. Let's go to the folder, and in the folder we have our Web Project 1 PDB, which is just the debug information, debug data. But we have our DLL. This is the Web Project, same folder name. And you can see, though, that we're in the bin directory. This is our main project. This is the bin directory. And this is our assembly. This is the DLL that's actually containing that namespace and the class that's actually taking care of that page. That CS file is compiled. Well, let's do something tricky. Let's be cute. We're going to turn that to a 2. Go back into Visual Studio, right-click, refresh. Whoops. Well, we messed something up. It can't find the information that's based in our manifest for that web project 2. It doesn't match the assembly reference there. Well, we might have messed something up, so let's go back. We'll refresh. And, whoa, there we go. The web 2 is still there. Change it back to web project 1. Go back, refresh, and there we go. We get it back. So it's actually referencing that. It's definitely referencing that. So we can go back and we'll delete it this time. We'll delete it, go back, refresh. Wait a second. What happened this time? Well, this error that we're getting is because it's not there anymore. So, what we need to do here, is come back in here and we will build our project. Rebuild solution. Come back, refresh, and there it is again. So we just did it. No problem. So we built it, and we'll refresh, and it's back again. So it definitely is needing that file there. So don't delete it. And you have to upload that to your server. That needs to go into the bin directory within your ASP.NET web project folder, and that's what you need to do to get that to work for you.